Pradeep sir, shall we start? Pradeep sir. A warm welcome to all of you. Very good morning. We'll be starting today's session on project synopsis for health insurance management. So hope I'm audible to all the participants. Yeah. I request all of you to type your queries in the Q&A session so that we can chat and I can address your queries duly. So in the today's session, we'll understand what is actually project synopsis, how you can prepare your synopsis, why it is essential to make a synopsis, what is the structure of synopsis, and what would be the key takeaways from this presentation. So what is synopsis? In Greek, synopsis means sun and opsis, where sun stands for together and opsis is seen together. So it is a brief summary of giving idea to something. How to prepare a synopsis? Project synopsis is a brief summary as I told you previously. So it will be a brief summary of your project report. It should give a panoramic view of your research by quick analysis by the reviewer. It should be brief, but it should be very precise. So, why it is important? Because the case synopsis or the project synopsis carries 4 credits and it stands for evaluation of 15 marks out of your total 50 marks. So, what is the structure of the synopsis? It mainly includes following headings, that is title, introduction, aims and objective, review of literature, research methodology, references, official requirements and annexures. So, title of your synopsis or project should be brief, but it should be informative. It should not be too long nor too short. Hypothesis to be studied can be included in the title itself. For example, a title that is written as Study on Insurance Products. This title seems too short. It does not have even the hypothesis, nor it provides any information about the topic. So it is least informative of what the researcher wants to plan in his research work. The title should be meaningful, like where a comparative study on different health insurance products, especially catering to geriatric population is the ideal title, which gives a clear-cut understanding that a researcher is planning a comparative research with various health insurance products that are exclusively developed for the geriatric population. So, introduction. It should contain brief background of the selected project topic. It should reflect the relevance and the importance of your study. It should clearly state the purpose for which you are planning your study. So, the purpose should be that why you are planning to do the study. It should focus upon the relevant aspects, that is, for which it is closely related, its appropriateness and application in the future research work. So, let us now come to aims and objective of your study. I know most of you must have queries that how best we can plan the aim or what should be the objectives for the project work. Okay, so your aim should be it is the aim in short summarizes in a single sentence or two sentences the entire plan which you expect to achieve in your research project, whereas objectives are closely related to the statements of the problem that you are coming across or that you are throwing light through your research. So aim reflects the long-term outcomes, while your objective indicates the short-term targets of the project. So, what is review of literature? So, review of literature is nothing but the literature search that you do for your project work. It is an important aspect or part of your research project. It familiarizes the reader with the problem that has been undertaken in the study. It describes the work done by others locally or internationally on the same project or the subject. It also helps the researchers to understand the difficulties that are faced by others and to suggest corrective steps or any kind of modifications that are made by them. Review also assists in identifying various variables within the research projects that can be conceptualized with their relationships. The review of literature in synopsis helps the reviewer to assess the knowledge of researcher and the feasibility of the study. So, let us now talk about how to initiate literature search. So, the search of literature within your related topic or your search should be relevant to the question or the problem you have put forth. You can make a list of keywords or the special words that you wish to search in your literature. Search for the relevant sources or the authentic sources like the PubMeds or the databases that are globally accepted. Then you have to identify or evaluate the sources from which you are taking your literature search. Make sure that the sources are credible. Wherever possible, it is suggested to take notes of the sites which you are simultaneously searching. Okay. Then outline your literature or the review literature through themes. Themes are nothing but the specialized ideas under which you will be categorizing your research project. For example, that I previously mentioned that If you're taking a comparative study on health insurance products, so your common theme should be the geriatric population. Second could be the people who have major non-communicable diseases or who are suffering from BP, diabetes. The second theme could be your age group. You can organize your literature review to maintain them into the subsections that acts or that addresses the different aspects of the topic. Like, there are certain specialized products which are available in the global market as well as in the Indian scenario. So your subsections could be the literature available per region or per age group, because geriatric population ranges from 60 years to 80 years of age. So you can categorize these two age groups as subsections. Write your literature review. Like any other academic text, your literature review should have an introduction, main body, and conclusion that you have derived or drawn from the entire exhaustive literature search. Let us now come across or to the research methodology. Research methodology forms the core of your research project. It has to be mentioned approximately between 150 to 200 words. It should cover following headings, that is, study design, study settings, sampling, variables, control groups, then study methods, for example, as if your project requires or demand any kind of examinations or investigations, you have to clearly spell out them. Then data collection methods, how you will be analyzing your data, and if required, ethical clearances, especially when you are taking any kind of investigative reports or the examinations for your research work. Some of you must have heard about the preferred provider networks. These were exclusively developed somewhere in the year 2015 to 2017. These were operational specially for the heart or the cardiovascular operations. When you are working upon such kind of projects where you require special or ethical clearances, what are the investigative reports that have been done? If you are taking a project on the post-operative, what we can say, survival rate of people, and what is the level of insurance claim that the preferred provider network must have provided to those individuals, then you require the ethical clearances from the hospitals, consents from the patients. So, also, I would like to throw light upon the data collection methods. In such cases, you have to mainly base your research or literature of data collection upon the past records and the patient's history that has been available. So, let us now understand in depth the methodology. So, the study area is the area or group or the population that you have collected for the data analysis in your project. So, your data tools and tests would be the data collection techniques that you will be utilizing, like questionnaire, one-to-one discussions, or personal interviews, etc. The sample size, a specific sample size depending upon the topic you have selected should be clearly spelled out in your methodology. Duration of the study, depending upon the availability or the data collection methods and techniques you will be using, you have to plan the duration of your study and specify the duration of study required for data collection and data recording. Most of the data that has been collected through questionnaires or personal interviews require data clearing as well, because there are certain sets of data that are repetitive in their nature. So you have to data filter also. So let us now come to the important aspect, that is the references. All the references that have been quoted in the review of literature and anywhere else in the synopsis should be mentioned in the reference section. The references should be in APA style. The American Psychological Association means the APA style. There are two main components of this citation. In-text citation, which actually comes in your project text body. It includes mainly the author's name and the year of publication of that article or the literature. For example, Parker and Taylor 2018 bracket closed. If there are more than 3 authors, then you can write as Parker et al. Dot, 2018. Et al. Means and others in Latin. Then a complete reference should appear in the reference list at the end of your project. Your in-text references and citations should match appropriately. Citations in the reference list typically includes the author name, date, the title of work referred by you, and the source or information about where you can get it, including the URL and DOI if available. Organize your references alphabetically by the name of author. This will help your readers to find the references in the text citations. For example, author AA or author BB. Then comes the date or year of publication, title of your article, title of journal in which it is published, volume number, page range from which you are taking the reference, edition, name of publisher, and the link from which you have retrieved it. You can see in the presentation an example given depicting the different sections of the reference. Okay, so let us now proceed to the digital object identifier versus URL locators. The sources that have digital object identifier are journal articles, ebooks, online book chapters, whereas sources that have uniform resource locator are the websites, online newspapers, or the homepage URLs. So, as I mentioned, that the official or your academic requirements in addition to the synopsis will be: a synopsis is incomplete without the following enlisted information, that is, name of the learner, name and designation of your guide, name and designation of head of the department, institutions if required, name of the institutions where you are carrying out your project, signature, and a seal. So, the most important tip while writing your project work is to be smart, where S stands for sufficiently specific, M stands for measurable, A stands for achievable, R stands for relevant, and T stands for time bound. When you are carrying out your project work, you have to be smart following these techniques. If you have any queries, you can definitely write to me on healthcare@ssodl.edu.in or dial me up on 5 times 8 92258. Your project synopsis submission date is by 1st of January. So I request all the participants and the students enrolled in the HIM program to start working up for identifying your project topic. It is very essential for a candidate to evaluate the selected sources of the literature that you will be taking for your project report. Please drop your queries in Q&A session. Dear all, please drop your queries in the Q&A section. Dr. Sanjay, yes, there will be a separate session for the project synopsis and the project report. So today's session was exclusively for project synopsis. Soon we'll be scheduling a separate session for project report. Hope most of your queries have been resolved. Is there any further queries? Please drop your queries in the chat box. Okay, as there are no further more queries, I think the session is over for the day. Please write to me on healthcare@ssodl.edu.in for any of your further queries. Thank you. It was nice interacting with you all.